Hey everybody, it's Lisa from Shabby Road Studio. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to take this store-bought canvas that already has pre-printed flowers on it. I'll just flip it over. This seems pretty decent actually, but this I bought it at a garage sale. There's two of them and I bought them at a garage sale for $1.50 for both of them. So, I mean, how can you go wrong? Even if I mess this up, I mean, you've only wasted 75 cents, and then you really haven't wasted it because you can just go right over the top of this. So, today, I want to do a collage on this canvas with you of a chicken, okay? Because I don't know if you've been with me any length of time or you've watched any of my videos, you probably heard my roosters in the background. We have chickens. We're little chicken farmers. And so I've been wanting to do something chickeny. And actually this guy is a rooster, so pretty sure it's a rooster. I took this reference photo, printed it from Pinterest. I'm just using this to, I'm going to show you in a minute, just to kind of get the basic shape and you know, kind of a color idea. I mean, it won't be exactly like this because I'm going to use my gel prints. And so we're going to use whatever we can find. So I've already taken two pieces of tracing paper, stapled them together because I didn't have any tape sitting here. And I put this on my canvas just to kind of get an idea of how big I want this chicken to be. Rooster, whatever. It's gonna leave me probably, I don't know, 3 inches or so of a border around it. So I'm gonna take this, we're going to just kind of put it under our tracing paper, my own sketch on here, putting it on here and like, I don't know, lightly tracing around it. I am going to off camera because the majority of the time of this video is going to be spent collaging, so I'm just showing you basically the steps I'm going to be taking. Either way, I'll explain to you when I come back what I did. You will see this finish, this part finished before we move on to the canvas, so I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have cut this one out. I did add a piece of just printer paper in the middle. I kind of wanted to extend this rooster a little bit so that I could make it fill the spot on the canvas that I want to fill. Then I just took my tracing paper over the top, kind of traced out what I wanted, and then I cut it out. Now I'm just going to use this. I'm going to just keep this as a template in case I want to do this again, or maybe I'll make a set since I do have 2 canvases that size. Maybe I'll flip this over this way and make a set of them. But for now, for this video, we're just going to work on one. He's going to go right there. I think that's pretty good. So all the rest of this is background. So we're going to work on the background first. Definitely my plan is to make Mr. Rooster the main focus. He needs to be front and center. So this background is going to have to be very light colors and shades and things. I want it to be kind of shaded with either paint or really, really light colored jelly prints. So first I'm going to start off with just a gesso coat and just get a good amount of my gesso on there. Gesso dry. Obviously we're going to still see the background, so we're going to come in with something else. I just don't know if that's more gesso or if I'm just going to go ahead and start with some just papers, like collage papers. So let me let this dry and I'll be back. So this gesso is pretty much dry. If you see, I don't know, can you see it's crackling? Too bad that wasn't going to be the final layer. That's pretty cool. But yeah, we're going to be going over this with collage papers and gel prints. This is all dry now, so I'm going to start adding in some matte gel and just collaging down pieces of, this is an old vintage book. I love the colors of those. No, I can't get it back up. I was gonna make sure I had enough under it. So supposedly the key is to just make sure that you have enough matte gel under your paper. And then over top of your paper. I'm gonna go work on that and then do most of this, and then I'll be back. So I wanted to give you a quick peek while I'm working. I'm taking, like I said, some gel prints that are a little bit lighter in the background to use for the background. And then the vintage paper. And this was an image. So I said there was, this is a book of vintage plays, a vintage book of plays. And this is from Comedy of Errors. I ripped that off because I probably am going to use that in here somewhere. Books under here. Gives it more of a solid back to show you the next step. So this is almost all covered with some kind of collage, book pages, jelly prints. You'll see it all when this dries. And I want to just come in, take this big piece of pattern paper. I don't know how this is going to go because it is really big and it's going to be hard not to get bubbles, but even so, I don't mind if there are some wrinkles. I feel like the wrinkles give this thing character, so we're just going to try to do the best we can and get this piece We're going to fold that right down on itself there. Just lather this on. All right, I want this all to dry. Then probably coming back in with some gesso or some paint. I'm not sure which, but I do know that this all has to dry first. And there's a lot of matte gel on here. A lot of matte gel that has to dry. So I will be back when this entire canvas is dry and ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so this is almost dry. So it covers up a lot of the collage I put on the back, and that's fine. It just adds another layer, another color to the background. But we're gonna cover up a lot of this anyways. So I don't know. I put a couple pieces of washi tape, one down in this corner, one over here. I'm gonna do a little bit of scraping of gesso. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with this gesso. If I get too much, I can just, I think, probably wipe it back with a baby wipe. Yeah. I don't want it to completely obliterate the background. That'll help. There goes all my dry layers. I like that. It gives it just shows up the texture. It adds more texture. Yeah. And if you're wondering, I'm going to be painting the sides all black, and then I'll probably come up a little bit on the edges black too. I'm going to do maybe a little scraping. Maybe some scraping in the gesso to give it even a little bit more texture. Well, I was looking for my ink. I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. So I'm just going to do like a wash. This is raw umber. I am going to try to get this on and off brushed on. I know it looks messy right now, but I'm gonna get it brushed on and wiped off, I hope, as quickly as I can. I don't know if this is ever gonna dry now, but wipe it back to get the shade that I'm hoping for. I think it's working out well. It's just pushing everything back. You can still see the texture, you can still see some of the collage, but it's gonna allow that rooster to really be the star of the show, and that's the whole point of this particular piece. So I'm a mess, I'm gonna go get washed up and then let this dry, and then we'll be back. I wanna kind of put this guy down a little bit. I thought I was gonna put him right in the middle, but I do kind of wanna put him down towards the base a bit. And I don't know if this pencil is gonna be good enough to draw this out, but we're gonna try. And around his beak. And kind of where I want that guidelines, giving myself some guidelines for the collage paper. So yeah, we can refer back to that one, or we can refer back to this one to kind of get an idea of where we're going with the collage paper. So I have picked out some colors that I think might work with this. I think we'll start with the body, and then we can overlay with the feathers. I've kind of cheated and used this on the back of this paper so that I could get this fringy stuff. I wanted to do something while I was waiting for this to dry. And so this is kind of the paper that I want to use. I won't probably use it all the way up there, but just something like that, giving him his fringe. So we've kind of got that already cut out. And this piece right here with the red, I traced out his comb for that. So hopefully we could probably cut that out. Got a lot more black than I thought I would. Shoot. I think it'll still be okay though. Let's give it a try. So kind of something like that. Yeah, this will be fun. It's just figuring out all your little puzzle pieces. This is a yellow piece. I want to do his beak in yellow. I hope to get better at this so I don't have to cheat and cut out these pieces. It would be fun to just be able to just look at something and rip off a piece, you know, but I guess that takes practice, and I think that a person can get better at this as they go along. Kind of bitter. Oh yeah, that's cute. Old book page, because it was very, very dark, deep. I cut it right there. It's not very circular. Well, let's see how it looks. So then we'll put white in that in the middle. I think he's gonna come along nicely. That works if it. Okay, I got so much sitting here. Let's see, so that beak does seem big, but alright, just trying to copy this little eye. Raggedy there. That's better. Let's move that. We need to figure out how many different colors we want in the bottom part. I love this piece, so check this out. These are cheap paints. I may do a video on this. Cheap Dollar Tree paints that bead up on the jelly plate, and it creates this lacing effect. And I had done 3 different colors. I did the teal, the lime green, and orange. And I could see this being kind of a main color in this rooster, to be honest. I'm gonna use white just because I want to be able to see. Let's see how that looks. So, it's always fun just to experiment because paint is so expensive. And when you're learning jelly printing, you will take any paint you can find. I will anyway. So far, I guess I would have to say my favorite paint has been the Master's Touch when it's on sale. If it wasn't ever on sale, then my favorite would be the brand that Menards is selling right now. And that is really nice paint. It works well on the jelly plate. So if Hobby Lobby never had any paint sales, then I would purchase my paint from Menards. I know probably artists out there would cringe because all of those that can afford Golden and Amsterdam and what's that new Lucas Krill or something, I don't know. I can't afford that, so I like to make art and have to make it with what I can afford. Okay, so our point of doing all of this, cutting this big chunk out. Okay, so it's just to kind of get a, oh, I love that. So kind of giving a base, and then like we can add some fun pieces over it. Let's see, probably a lighter color would help. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just cutting out some. Get in there. Can maybe throw these up here somehow. Oh yeah, I did want a piece of this in here. So that could go there because it will melt over this, feet out of the rest of this. So hopefully I can see what I'm doing. There is his other foot. Perfection. Okay, well that worked out good. A piece of this would be fun on here. Let's see. Let's do some of these squiggles. Yeah. So that's fun. I think we're coming along good. I think the next step is to simply start choosing a spot to start, and I'm going to suggest probably this back, the very back piece of the body, and well, maybe the legs first and then this body, and just start working our way up to the top. Okay, we're going to start gluing down our collage pieces. So I'm going to continue to use the matte gel. Okay, I'm going to attach the feet first. These are so cute. That's fun. Let's get this in place. Something like... Okay. So we have their feet down and the body. Come out like that with that piece. Gotta get my fingers in here, you guys. Okay. And then there. Getting some of my other pieces. I think the beak next. Oh, bent. I think we're going to put that one on next. That paper or jelly print is perfect for this part of the rooster. You never know when you're making these prints what they're going to be used for. So you're just making a bunch of different colors and shapes and patterns and things, but this is perfect for his head. Oh, he's going to be adorable. So I need this part next. That just made him come alive, didn't it? Oh my goodness, how cute. This got to come up a wee bit up here. Well, this has been fun. I could see me doing more of these if you guys want to see more. If you want to see more like this, tell me in the comments. So cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. This must have been a scrap because I really don't think there was any other place I was going to put some red on. right there. That would be fun. It needs a pop of color down here anyways. So I think that's what we're going to do with that piece of red. Yeah, nice. So I think we have the body of the rooster complete, unless I decide to put anything on after the fact. Still have another piece of this. Really is easy to throw this piece on because these things just blend in. So anything that adds another layer of texture. Okay, but now all I can do is really wait for the rooster to dry completely, and then see if there's anything on the border that we want to do. Maybe we want to make it more of a distinct border. Maybe we want to put something around the edges. Let me see. I need to hold it up and look. All right. This will look so cool when it's dry. Tomorrow morning, what this looks like once it's all dried, and you can see those colors better because right now everything's just white from this gel. But yeah, and I think there may be some additions we can do to the sides as far as border. That'll give him a cool little cute little border. What we'll use, I'm not sure. You know, there's a lot of options. This is kind of neat. I think that would be fun to use pieces of that in the border. Oh, I think I was gonna put some, I was gonna give him some grass down here. Let's see. Okay, so this is all right, so we're just gonna split this up. Maybe just next time you see this will be tomorrow morning, but you won't know that because it'll be just a second. Anyways, I'm gonna let this dry overnight and come back in the morning and see how awesome it looks, and then we'll go from there as far as putting a border around it. Now that I've put my grass down here, that's okay. We can still figure out some kind of a border because I still think it'll look good with something around the edge. So anyway, I'll be right back tomorrow morning when this is dry. Okay, it's the next morning and Mr. Rooster is dry everywhere and I love him. So I'm not sure if, I don't know how much you guys can see. I did add did I add that with you? Oh, can't remember. Anyway, added 2 chunks of grass, this little green strip of bubble wrap jelly print. But I have some more I want to add. So, also I want to add something more here for like, I just have this little piece. I want to add a little bit more for like a wing. But I love him. I am in love with this project so far. This is so much fun. This is just mark making on old book page, but I love it. The color is perfect. So if I go up, you can't see. If I go down, you can't see. All right. So, and then I have another piece of this, just kind of like to give a dark value here, just to kind of balance another piece of that book page. And I want to put that over on this side. And then I have another piece of that same. I didn't want to, oh yeah, I don't really want to put it all the way down in the corner because I have that piece of washi tape down in the corner. This is really hard because I don't know how much you can see. So I have that piece of washi tape there. I didn't really want to cover that. So I'm gonna bump this up a bit just to kind of balance out this piece over here. I'm sorry guys, a project this big is hard to show you. So I might put that one down somewhere like that. another piece of this I'm going to put on the side over here, kind of like that. And then I have this piece on that side, just kind of balancing things out. I have more grass pieces I want to add, just kind of layering the grass down here. There you go. See the grass? Raising the phone up a little bit higher. I don't know if you can see more or not. Oh, I forgot to show you. This is my extra wing. Kind of just layered 3 different pieces, and I just want to put it so that that other piece is peeking out from under it. So just like right there. So maybe we'll start with that. I think that'll be good. What's going to look really good after we're all done getting the collage part on is going over it with the Mod Podge to give it some. Right now it's pretty matte, so I want it to be shiny. I think this will look best shiny. So we're going to go over it with Mod Podge when we're done, when this is all dry. Let's put this guy down. Then this one. Yeah, that's cute. I like it. So when all of this is dry, then we'll come back and, like I said, do a layer of Mod Podge over this. Okay, everything is dry, and now I'm going to go ahead and paint the sides because I want to bring that up a little bit on the sides before I do the Mod Podge. So I'm just going to use this black gesso that I got at Hobby Lobby. I won't make you watch this whole thing. Sometimes when I do these steps without you, then people say, why didn't you show us that step? So I will show you part of it. There's no reason to sit and watch me, paint the sides of a canvas. That's pretty boring. Or this is a perfect thing to start out with, just grabbing something like this either at a garage sale or at thrift stores. Thrift stores have used art that they sell, and if it's not something that you would hang in your house, then why not just grab it. If it's the right price, grab it and bring it home and cover it with your own art. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's one side. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll come back when the sides are dry. Okay, so I have painted the sides all the way around, and I've come up on the edge. I've wrapped that black around the edge a little bit. And now I want to do just a couple little spots. So this is a chicken, a rooster, and this piece that comes in Amazon packages, you've all seen this, you've all used it, I'm sure. It looks like chicken wire. So what I want to do is put a little bit of white, just a little bit, and just give it a, I don't know, just a couple of odds and end stamps on here. Ugh, it didn't work. Why it didn't work? Because this canvas. Well, that's not working like I had hoped, and I don't want to wipe that because it's just going to smear it. So, sturdy enough. I have the book under there. All right. It's not working, but I don't mind the addition of the little white marks that it's leaving. This was a fail, but I think it's still going to be okay with the little white. Yeah, it's too bad it didn't work because that would have been really cute. I just wanted to make sure those were dry. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is take this kind of a crackle stamp, and I'm using StazOn because we need something that's that's not going to move when we put the Mod Podge on top. These canvases are kind of hard to work with. I like that little crackle texture that this gives. Yeah, it's really, really hard underneath this canvas. I'm trying to put my hand under it, or I want to put some. There we go. It's real subtle, and that's what I'm looking for, is just another. When you look at this up close, you see all of the papers underneath. You see this pattern paper. You see the words. There's this image that you can still faintly see of that book, the Comedy of Error play that was in that old play book. So you can almost still see them. I did include the Comedy of Errors over here. I added that to the corner just because I said I wanted to do that, and it just gives a nod back to the papers that we used in the background. Yeah. So that's a fun addition to this, is this crackle stamp. It just adds that teeny extra, at least for me. I just find adding little elements like this to be interesting for the composition of this collage. And then I have this one I loved to use a lot when I was junk journaling. It's just these little dots, and they're just so cute and whimsical and delicate, but they add something. It's hard to explain now if I can get it on this canvas. Yeah. Just another layer of texture. Just little dots. Doesn't really matter where you add them, just a few here and there. And with that being said, what I want to do next is take this big Sharpie and outline this bird as best as I can. Now, I'm not going to be able to get in here and get close enough to outline with the video going because my head would be in the way. You won't see anything anyway. So I started outlining his tail right there, as you can see. Says permanent, so, you know, I'm assuming that once I put the Mod Podge over the top, that's not going to run or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and spend some time outlining just the rooster. And then I will come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have outlined Mr. Rooster. It looks okay. I think it needed to be outlined, but I don't know if I did such a great job or not. Anyways, it is what it is. Initially, I had said we're going to make this kind of more of a white background where he was, but because the background isn't all that busy, after I put the sewing pattern on, it kind of knocked back everything. So I think he's okay on the background as it is without painting anything. So yeah, I think we're ready now for the Mod Podge, and then I'll sign it somewhere. I'm just pouring some on. Hopefully that's not too much. Can't wait to see what he looks like covered in this. This has been a fun project. Thanks for hanging out with me. Okay, we're gonna let this set and dry, and I'll see you when it's dry. Okay, all that Mod Podge is dry. It's all super smooth and shiny. Well, I mean, it's not super shiny, but it's got a nice sheen to it, I think. I tend to lean towards things that have some sheen versus matte. Now, when I was doing junk journals, I liked matte things, but for art projects like this, I tend to like some kind of a shine on there. And Mr. Rooster is done. I really like him. I think this was a fun project. Hopefully this video doesn't turn out to be too long. I'll make the edits necessary to keep it as, you know, just as short as possible without taking out too much. But yeah, so I don't know. I think he looks pretty cool. I am happy with the elements that I added. Like I said, the only thing, maybe a thinner marker. Maybe not this thick one next time. Maybe a thinner line around him. I don't know. What do you think? It's good. I just maybe think maybe a skinnier line. I don't know. And I signed it at the bottom with a gel pen on top of the marker. Like I said, this is going to stay here with me because we are chicken farmers, and so egg farmers. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun, and I hope to do more projects like this because I've got lots of gel prints to use, and they need to go somewhere, right? And I think this is a good way to use them. So get yourself a canvas. Look at that, $1.50 for both. I was not lying to you. I just did not take that one off yet. $1.50 for both of these canvases. I'm telling you, take something that's old and make some art. Make some art. There's no excuses. You can get cheap art supplies, and if you're like me, on a budget. So, all right, you guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.